Hi everybody, welcome back. This is the second video in the series, and by God's grace, if I'm able to complete this, which I know I won't be able to, so you'll be looking at my face for a couple of more videos. Now, I remember that in video one, we ended at talking about the kind of client data that is collected, and I introduced to you the idea of personal data and engagement data. याद है? हमने बोला था कि there is personally identifiable information and you have non-identifiable information, that is non-personally identifiable information, and PII, maybe we had linked information and linkable information. One that is like you already, and one where two and two can be put together. We looked at engagement data, right? And I'll be starting with the behavioral data. All right. So behavioral data is essentially, matlab we are looking at it from the legal perspective, but for marketers, your behavioral data is a potential gold mine. Because if I have to predict, if I have to study consumer behavior, I have to understand how consumer actually reacts to different offers and what kind of things is he attracted to, then I would be very interested in behavioral data of my target audience. So it has its own it has its own parameters, and there are a lot of people who actually say that engagement data should also be a part of behavioral data. So we're not here for Pythagorean categorization that once something is here, it cannot go there. But we'll be looking at it as two different entities. Although, like I've already introduced, that there are people who say that engagement data is behavioral data actually. So the first kind of data that you see in behavioral data is what is called as transactional data, in which you have your subscription details. Okay, you have your purchase details. So how long have you been subscribed to something? What are your usage tendencies? For example, I've taken a pack, okay, a TV pack of XYZ number of channels, and then what is it that I've been renewing again and again. Suppose you see a customer who has renewed the sports pack every 3 months, so you know that this person watches sports regularly. The purchase details, what kind of previous purchases this person has been making, what is the average order value. There are a number of websites who will give you coupons, okay, and the reason why they push you those coupons is that they want to push up your purchasing on that website. So you have that kind of data also getting registered by the website. The cart abandonment data, amazing. So you must have noticed that sometimes you go to Flipkart, you scour for products, you add a product to your cart, right? Buying cart, and then just log out or just close the window, whatever. And then suppose you're going to Facebook, and then you see a small side panel where there are a lot of ads, and then they say your cart still waits for you. So somebody noticed the fact that you put products into the cart and yet did not pay for them or actually buy them. So that is cart abandonment. Your loyalty program details, okay. So product usage, so repeated actions. So what are the things that you are doing again and again? Which features are used most? Now, a lot of these websites, they have to have adequate coding and IT support to be looking after a particular feature. For example, Google stopped its Plus service, right? So feature usage is if there is some service which does not have adequate users, obviously it will no longer be profitable for the company to be maintaining that infrastructure. So what features are used often, all right, how long you've been using a particular feature, and task completion, what kind of devices that you use. You will see that if you've been using your Gmail regularly from your phone, and then you access it from a laptop or a public computer, Google will send you a mail that a new device has accessed your email account. right? So that is also a part of behavioral data. So the user attention, the heat maps, that area of your screen which has a lot of action going on, where you click the most, scroll the most, what is the general mouse movement pattern, right? So that is qualitative data. You have attitudinal data, which is your FOUR, fourth categorization. And in attitudinal data, you basically count out the feelings and emotions of your customers. You look at how they perceive your brands and your offerings. And attitudinal data is again very broad. You could be evaluating customer satisfaction. You may be doing a sentiments analysis, the feelings that people have, product desirability, preferences of people, motivations and challenges. Not every person, yeah, everybody's solving a problem by using a product or a service, but still their underlying motivation may be different for different people. Okay, purchase criteria. Why are you purchasing something? And this customer data is collected through several ways. You would be able to see, if you have my handout in your hand, you would see a wheel, all right, and there are tracking pixels and the contact information forms that you're filling, the different customer feedbacks, all right. डोमिनोज का पिज़्ज़ा मंगवाया, लिंक आया, उस पर क्लिक किया, अपना फीडबैक दिया. दे essentially locked your order information with your phone number and your feedback. There is somebody who understood that you really like chicken pepperoni pizza because you've ordered it for the fifth time. Customer service software, transactional information, website analytics, and social media. These are like the common touch points from where information is collected. Now that brings us to a very critical concept that I want to start with you today. The idea of cybercrimes. So it's not a new term for you, right? आप लोगों के लिए नया नहीं है. And the American Department of Justice says that if there's any violation of criminal law which involves the knowledge of computer technology for the perpetration, that is doing it, investigation and prosecution would fall under the idea of cybercrime. Okay, and the computer crime is any crime essentially which involves the use of information technology. You have many terms which are used synonymously. For example, you have internet crimes, cyber crimes, computer related crimes, high tech crimes, and essentially they all mean the same thing. Okay, and the use of information. And basically, what the two characteristics of cybercrime are, that you are essentially dealing with use of information and communication networks that are not bounded by geography, and the data is intangible and volatile and in constant circulation. So this is the definition given by the EU Council, and that is the Justice and Home Affairs. प्रमोद भैया 10 मिनट में आ रही हूँ नीचे. हाँ. All right. So let's look at the tools and techniques of committing cyber crimes. Very, very interesting it is. I was really aghast to see some of the techniques that are there. One of the ones that you can also possibly see in your in your handout is buffer overflow. Now, understand one thing, that buffer is related to the memory of the computer, and in buffer overflow, it is a condition where the program or the process tries to store the more and more data in the buffer, which is your temporary data storage area within the computer, and it is more than what it was supposed to be holding. So the buffer, which is expected to be handling a finite amount of data, this extra information will overflow into the adjacent buffers, and either you will override the valid data that is on them, or you'll corrupt it. Okay, so that is a buffer overflow. Second is cracking, which is essentially breaking into someone else's computer systems and either on a network or either by bypassing a password or licenses, and you are essentially intentionally breaching the security of the computer. And obviously it is unauthorized use, because if it was authorized, you would not need to have so many tantra mantra gyan happening to be entering somebody's computer. And you have ethical folks too. So there are certain people who do it for either revealing the vulnerability of a system or for any other altruistic reason. So, but it's there, it happens. Okay. Um, Third one is it's very interesting. It's called data diddling. All right. So you have raw data, and then what you do is that you gradually and slowly alter this raw data slowly and slowly just before the computer is processing it. And as soon as the processing is over, you change that data back to original. It looks very tricky and it's very conceited, and it really is. Malware, where I insert a malicious code or a program covertly into the system, and the sole purpose is to compromise the confidentiality and the integrity of the victim's data or the applications that the victim is using or the operating system. And I'm either out to annoy or disrupt or take out data for some specific reason. Then there is this next form of cybercrime which is called phishing. Very interesting. One of the easiest ways of financial fraud specifically is phishing, where I will have a spoof email that I direct to people, and I use it for directing this traffic to a fake website where people end up divulging their actual financial details, and the criminals essentially steal the data and use it for accessing the accounts of the victims. Next one is called rootkit, and rootkit is like a toolbox. So it is a set of tools, all right, and you have privileged access to the computer, and you have access to the computer, its registry, without the administrator knowing that you are inside his system. And it's one of the ways by which a cracker would work. Okay, so you install the rootkit, and after having user level access, you gradually start exploiting the known vulnerabilities and get into the system completely. So once I'm successful in becoming a mole into that system victim's computer, I'm able to mask any intrusion, that is the other person has no idea I'm inside, and I can have privileged access to the computer, and possibly if it is a server machine connected to other network, then I may have some say or some control over the remaining machines of that network. Then you have spyware. So spyware is essentially a kind of malware only. But this spyware is like the word says, jasoos, karamchand. So this karamchand is essentially gathering your data and sending it to somebody else without your permission. So you are gaining information on individuals and you are giving it to other people through the use of spyware, which is a software acting like a spy. Very interesting, and again, another piece of cybercrime that has huge, let's say, it has got huge ramifications in the world of cyber terrorism and international terrorism is steganography. It is the art and science of a written hidden message in such a way that no one, apart from the sender and the intended receiver, will realize that there is something hidden within this message. So you may be looking at just a picture of a tulip, you and me, because we are normal people and we look at a tulip and think it is a tulip. But the person for whom that tulip image is made, he knows that at some corner, some place, there is some hidden message there which with due regards to looking at the right place, you'll be able to check what the message says. Then you have Trojan, okay, Helen of Troy, right? A horse came in and essentially just ruined the whole place. Similarly, a Trojan is again a malicious piece of code that masquerades as a very benign application, and it takes complete control of the victim's computer. Then you have a salami attack, okay, and salami attack is like it's an attack that is gradually increasing in its propensity, धीरे धीरे धीरे. तो इतना धीरे है कि आपको पहली बार में समझ में ही नहीं आएगा that somebody is changing. So I have an Excel sheet. It has about 20,000 entries, and there is a software which every day is changing two entries. सिर्फ दो 20,000 एंट्रीज में आपको कैसे पता कि कौन सा डेटा कितना चेंज हुआ. सो अब इट इज अ प्रोग्राम्ड अटैक, वेरी स्मार्ट, इम्प्लीमेंटेड to be in unnoticeable increments, and this attack is about making alterations which appear insignificant, so they are not noticed, and they are basically used for committing financial crimes. Then you have what a dog does. That is a sniffer, right? So a program or a device that monitors data that is traveling over a network is a sniffer program. You would use a sniffer for both legitimate purposes such as network management, or you could even use it for stealing information. So people who are like or pieces people who are interested, they may they may introduce an unauthorized sniffer, because this unauthorized sniffer will basically just sniff out very critical information about different systems on a network. Then you have social engineering. So, social engineering is a hacker term where there is non-technical intrusion, and you're doing it for deceiving and manipulating unwitting people into giving out information about a network or how to access it. So, so you're sitting with somebody, he's your ex-colleague, and you're like, अरे यार मेरा वो मैंने वो मेरा अकाउंट से मेरे को डेटा निकालना था, और मैंने अपना पासवर्ड डाला, लेकिन मेरे को तो समझ में ही नहीं आता है कि ये वो कह रहा है कि वो तो चलता ही नहीं है. सो योर फ्रेंड who's an ex colleague who's just sitting with you, and he's like, अरे वो अभी बहुत इशू हो गया था तो उन्होंने तो सबके पासवर्ड सेम कर दिए, तो आप देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है करके. अब दिस इज वन कॉन्वर्जेशन, एंड देन दिस पर्सन सेज कि यार एक काम करना, मैं तुम्हारे से ही लेता हूँ, प्लीज अपना लॉग इन कर दो इसके अंदर. तो वो आपके लॉग इन में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है, बट द आइडिया इज दैट यू विल बी पुटिंग अ पासवर्ड which other person has in not negatively, मतलब he has casually told you that full organization is working on a single password. So this is social engineering. Then you have spoofing, where you have incoming information from the attacker, and it appears to be from a trusted source, right? So spoofing is having some funny messages coming across to you. These messages are from a fraudster, and they appear to be from a genuine source. So when HDFC Bank at hdfcbank.net writes to you saying that they have an urgent need to be relocating 10 lakh rupees into somebody's account, and if you respond within 3 hours, we'll give it to you. So that's a kind of spoofing. Virus is a self-replicating program that runs and spreads by modifying other programs or files. You have antivirus softwares on different computers, but every single day there are new and new viruses coming out, and then your antivirus software has to continuously update its definitions to keep up with the malicious code. Another thing is a worm. So a worm is also like, in an explanation, it is just like a Trojan, because it replicates itself, खुद को copy करता है, बढ़ाता है, and it's complete in itself, and it will use the network to essentially send itself everywhere. And zombie, so it's like an episode of The Walking Dead, because a zombie program is installed on a system, and this system starts attacking other systems. So it's very interesting. Okay, now understand one thing, that section 2 of IT Act, okay, IT Amendment Act 2018, 2008, sorry, is saying that cybercrimes will cover a wide range of illegal activities, and they are done solely either using computer resources, or they are done along with the traditional means of committing crimes, using computer resources and communication. Okay, so section 66 of IT Act 2008 is the one that deals with cyber crimes with the penal provisions for committing any of the acts that are defined under section 43. And there are no, now with the changing times, there are new inclusions in what kind of cyber crimes exist. So this was just a general set of cyber crimes. Now you'll find that you have crimes focused on a computer system, and there are crimes using computer systems. So in the next video that I record, I'll be talking about crimes targeting computer systems, and the crimes in which the computer system is used as an instrument for committing a crime. All right, so I like to end at this particular point of time, and let us see how things work out. Okay, I'll be uploading this today itself, and I hope all of you have a good day today. Bye bye.